Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome to something different today. It's actually a game that I've wanted to play for some time now. I actually played the original Final Fantasy XIV, the one that actually they closed down, and I did well in it. I'll be modest to say I didn't. I had a few characters maxed out, maximum rank. I had loads of maximum rank weapons. I had between 6 and 7 million on each character. So I had some serious cash, and you know, I actually enjoyed it. You know, I mean, as much as the community slated it and they closed it down, I still enjoyed it. You know, the graphics were absolutely amazing. Now, over the period of sort of the last sort of year or so, 2 years since it's been gone, they've been basically developing this, which is Final Fantasy Reborn, 14, whatever you want to call it. But it's online. And what does online mean? Not much really. It's exactly the same really. I don't think it actually affects anything really, other than, you know, it's exactly the same. I still don't quite get that, but anyway. Now, I've played the game a bit. I mean, when I recorded this video, it's actually in it's in the beta stage. And I've done alright. I've actually ranked up quite quickly. But today the idea is just to sort of give you a quick overview of the game, configuration, you know, what options you've got. Now obviously this is the PC version. There is a obviously it's going out on other consoles as well, so I'll show you how to in-game how to check that. But anyway, first of all, this is the sort of the basic settings. You have your displays. I've got 3 displays, but I've obviously got one selected at the moment. I've got it in window mode. Basic sort of settings here. You can say that the maximum refresh rate is 60, maximum, and you can set sort of limits yourself, which I think is good. It gives you the more control you have, the better. Sound settings. I'll turn that down a little bit actually. Sound settings, pretty basic really, guys. You have now, this is one thing I do like in games. I like having detailed. Can I look? Do that as well. I might turn that on. I didn't even know I turned it on. Now, you basically can go in and change really sort of, you know, detailed stuff in the graphics. And I love this, guys. If you're a PC user and you've got a good PC, why should you be limited on the game? Why, if the game should give you the options to make the graphics better if you've got a really good PC, and it should do the latter if you haven't. So, general sort of settings anyway. I mean, as I say, I've maxed all them out as normal. Does that go high? No. I've maxed them out as much as I possibly can. We're going to apply that anyway. Now, obviously, mouse sensitivity, pretty going rate. Controller, Xbox controller, obviously on the PC you can use. But you'll notice the difference. The on-screen icons are different between mouse and controller. Now, what is the actual difference? I mean, the first thing being sort of avid, I'm going to say I actually enjoyed. I was an avid fan of the last one, even no matter what anyone says, guys. I loved the graphics. I had a good PC. It looks absolutely amazing, and I enjoyed it. And I made a lot of friends on there as well. So, let's get started. Now, got a character already. Here he is. I've always been a fan of the sort of Conjurer class. I probably would have gone with a bow and arrow or something like that if it wouldn't have been that one. I've never really got into the crafting stuff. Maybe something I'll try further down the line, but rank 11, believe it or not, I'm actually quite high rank already. It may not sound it, but in the sort of beta stage, the most ranks I see at the moment is rank 4. Maybe it's rank 5. And the gear I've got is quite high. I say quite high. You know, I'm doing alright. That's all I can say. So anyway, now, obviously you have your race. This is very similar to the previous one. It's almost exactly the same, but they've just sort of, I think they got a lot of the conceptual ideas and the map and, you know, everything from the last game, and then just ported it over to here. Not only ported it over, it was a total redesign. There's no doubt about that. It's a total ground up rebuild. The engine is totally different. I mean, it had to be to. We'll go into more detail in the game, and I'll explain why. But anyway, so look. You basically create your character. You can spend like 2 hours, guys, creating your character. The amount of things you can change is crazy. You can change absolutely everything on him and his face and everything, but we won't go into that anyway. Now, let's log in as this guy. I think I'm logged in the middle of bloody woods, so not that it really matters, but And I've just basically today, I want to go through the sort of the UI and what's different and, you know, what to expect if you play the game and, you know, just a general sort of feel to the game. I'm going to be, one thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding this to my channel. So here we are, guys. Now, the first thing I noticed, I mean, I'm going to be honest here, this is, the graphics are not as good as the previous version. There's no doubt about that. I mean, most people are playing it. I've watched a couple of videos and they go, oh, the graphics are amazing. Guys, these are not amazing, guys. I'm telling you, they should have played the previous version. The graphics were absolutely amazing. You can see this is downscaled. This has been downscaled so it can work cross-platform. I don't know why they can't give you the maximum graphic ability because obviously you can't expect someone on the PS4. I don't know if it's going to go Xbox or, you know, what it's going to go to yet, but you can't expect them to be able to run the same amount of graphics that a high-performance PC can. Now, these graphics are probably going to be better than a PC anyway. There's no doubt about that. But the graphics are not as good as the previous version. But they are still very good. I mean, if you look at the character models, it does use PhysX as well. So you can see there. PhysX is basically, if you go into the NVIDIA site, PhysX is basically, if you see the flow of the clove there as I move, it sort of sways. PhysX basically deals with that sort of animation. So that's the sort of general thing that we actually want to keep away from these guys because they'll attack me otherwise. So, okay, look. I mean, the difference between this one and the previous version, I want to go somewhere quiet because these people are just like making loads of noise. Now, the difference between, I would say, this and the previous version, hide over in the woods. The difference is the previous version was an MMO, but it didn't have all the functionality. This is more like WoW. They've gone to, oh, please, guy. Why, you know, we always have to, interrupt the video. He's ranked 10 as well, so I didn't really attack the wrong guy here, haven't I? Great. Now, you look, while I'm here, guys, I'm not going to talk about this yet. I'm just going to kill this guy because he's really annoyed me. He's going to not kill me now. I'm very annoyed. He won't kill me. The Dermites have our growth, so they do tend to attack, so it's slightly annoying, but we'll soon kill him. And he's dead. Not great XP. You can actually get more XP from killing smaller enemies, I found. Some of the rank 6 you get 100 XP. Let's go and stand over here and get any blooming aggro. Now, as I was saying, the difference is between the last version and this version is the fact that they've gone for the more hardcore MMO player style. Now, first of all, you have 2 rows basically here. Got the bottom row, which basically does the number keys, so that's like 1 to 0, okay? And this one's actually locked in there equals, but I've actually I've moved it over to 1, just because it makes it easier for me. Now, the second row is control, so you can do control 1, control 2. Now, what you can do, I mean, I've got a Corsair keyboard, and I can create macros within the keyboard if I want to. And what I can do is I've got G1 to G18 down the side. So what you can do is you can create a macro that presses control and 1 and add these into your macro keys on your keyboard, which is nice. I mean, that goes up to 18, so I mean, obviously this is only up to 0, but it's not a problem. So I like that. It's great. Now, the next question is you know, can you configure this? Can you change it in any other way? And what you might notice is if you watch some other videos, some people have them this way, X ways, like this, right? And that is obviously because they're on console or they're using a controller. The controller layout is obviously different because you don't have 1 to 9. You don't have the keyboard unless you obviously go and buy one. Now, let's take a look at this. I mean, this is just to sort of give you an idea of some configuration you can actually do, right? So, let's have a look. Let's go to key bindings. We don't have to worry about that for now, actually. I want to have a look at system configuration. No, it wasn't that one either, guys. Here we go. This is the one I meant. Now, I'll close that down when it closes it. Yeah, it will. Now, first of all, you would notice everything is pretty much drag and drop. I like that. So you can actually drag and drop things around, and that sort of works throughout the game as well. So You know, if you've got something there that's really bugging you, you can move it out of the way. Now, everything is configurable here, and as you can see, you can move anything to these slots, you can move them around, you can, you know, put them where you like them. So this is for the, you know, you can select different layouts, different toolbars, blah, 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 and you can move all this around and configure it to how you like your view to be, which I like. And I mean, this is edging on the way. I mean, this is like, not all called hardcore, but it's quite geeky sort of stuff. I mean, it's giving you the option to do what you want. Now, the first thing I noticed when I actually logged in and I started running around, okay, right, so direction key, this is the direction key, right? If I'm looking left and right, it turns my character. This goes forward, this goes back, right? But if I wanna turn like this now, right? I'm using left and right to do this, and now I'm using the mouse. I'm holding down the mouse button now to actually turn like this. Now, the reason I've worked out why they've done this, so when I'm running now, I'm holding forward and I'm holding the mouse button and I'm turning like this. And the reason they've done it is because if you're now holding forward, right, that means that you're not pressing any mouse buttons. So if I'm holding forward, the cursor's free now, guys. So while I'm running, I can click on things, you know, it gives me the options. So if I'm running to a different location and I want to start, actually, what's the next mission? Oh yeah, and I want to read that while I'm running. I can read that while I'm running. If I want to look at the map while I'm running, I can look at the map. You know, it gives you that ability to multitask while you're doing something. And I'm sure that would apply exactly the same also when you're doing something like crafting. If you're crafting something, you might want to craft, you might be crafting, you might have to press a button. You could press that button, and with the mouse cursor at the same time, maybe you could talk to one of your friends or contact someone at the same time. So, you know, it's giving you that ability to do multiple tasks at the same time, which is brilliant for an MMO, because most of the time when you're attacking something, you know, I might want to attack something now, and then at the same time, you know, move out the way, and at the same time I might want to cast a spell while I'm running. Do you see what I mean? So it gives you that ability to multiple task, not just while you're crafting, but also while you're attacking. So that's the first thing I noticed, and I thought that was really, really good. I'm glad that I added that in there. Now, down here you would notice we've got some sort of these little funny things here. It took me a while to work out what these were. Basically, what you can do with these are you can set different loadouts. Okay, so which I like as well. And what I mean is, for your actual let's have a quick look. Character configuration. Actually, it's not the one I wanted. Character. Now, I'm not going to do this, but what you can do, you can set 6 different gear lists, right? So, give you an example. Maybe my first gear list might be a bow and you know, a particular sort of defensive robe because I'm attacking some sort of different boss. I mean, I'll give you an example. You're going to laugh at me, guys, but you know, MMOs are about what you look like, no matter what you say. We all want to make our character look good, and this is what MMO's about. In the last one, I had clothes that I wore in the town. I had my really expensive robe that was a high value robe, which was a red robe, and it was quality 4. It was the highest quality you can get. I had a real high quality staff. Everything was high quality. But what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to wear that high quality stuff in the mines because I didn't want to get it damaged, and I didn't want to have to keep getting repaired. The only time I would actually use it, unless I was actually coming up a big boss or something like that. But if I was attacking normal enemies to gain XP, I'll put on my low value gear. Now, what I had to do is I had to go into my inventory and actually go, right, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this out. And I had to manually do it, right? And it was bloody annoying. At the time, you just did it, you know, you just got on with it, you just had to do it. But what you can do here, you can create loadouts. So you can say, you know, I want to have... Look, I haven't set any loadouts, so I haven't got any other gear yet, so I can't really show you, but you can set different loadouts. So what you can do is just click on the loadout, and then your character automatically changes to that loadout immediately. Now that is really, really good, you know, because it makes things a lot quicker for yourself, so you can switch loadouts between different areas you're going. I mean, the other scenario is you might, I mean, although I am a mage, I have a staff, I might want to equip a bow, because I have relatively good dexterity anyway. I could equip a bow and start using a bow, or I might want to use another weapon. So that's sort of a general idea. I'm trying to cover off as much as I can that I've actually noticed that has actually been added and sort of functionality about the game. Now, Compared to the last one as well, one thing I have noticed is you can no longer actually equip. Actually, I'll show you. I might be able to give you a demonstration. Actually, I don't know if I actually got any other robes. Let's have a look. That's low value. That's low value. I don't think I've got anything else I can actually equip. That is rank 1. That is rank 15. So look, so good example, guys. Can I equip this class? Right, you're going to say, okay, okay, that sounds pretty normal to me, but in the previous Final Fantasy, you could equip a rank 30 or any weapon into a slot. No matter what rank you were, all it would do is nerf that weapon down to your rank. So that's something they changed. Do I like that? Not really. I'll tell you why, because for me, I always start on endgame. You know, you want to, if you pick a character, 12, so what he is, 14, well, fair play. Like I said, I mean, you always want to go for the end game weapon, and this is my thinking, guys. When I first started playing the last Final Fantasy, I sort of made a bit of a cock up. I don't know, you know, I was ignorant. First time I played, I sold all my wind shards, I sold all my shards, I sold all the items I picked up. Now, Final Fantasy's always been based on an economy, and the economy is going to be based on a demand. If people want things, resources are going to run low because and resources are going to be expensive for that particular item if a lot of people want to buy it, right? And what I did when I last started is I sold all my gear and everything I wanted to sell to the NCP, which is probably the worst thing you can do, guys. I still say that now. I mean, you can go in there and sell it, or you can get double, or maybe in some cases quadruple what you can actually sell it out on the market. Now, one thing that I haven't found yet, because obviously this is in early stages, is the retainer. Now, in the previous one, I had a couple of retainers. I had 2 retainers in different towns, and I would basically, once I've been grinding, I would go to my retainer, load up all the shards of crystals, and basically sell them. And this is how I generated money in the game. I was a trader, not a crafter. I preferred doing that. I preferred attacking enemies and stuff like that. But that's what I enjoyed doing. And I think, you know, it's got it all for everyone. You've got the crafting, you've got the killing. You know, no matter what element you like in the game, you're more than likely going to find it here. Now, what do I think about it? I mean, it's, you know, it's a transition. But do I like it? I do, yeah. Do I think it's... The only thing that would disappoint me a little bit is the graphics. I mean, you're going to think, oh, they look good, but they were better in the last one. But I can deal with that if the gameplay's good. And so far, it is very good. And I can see now, I can, from my opinion, I think this is going to be a very, very successful game. Because it has everything that everyone wants. It's got the extreme technical aspect to it, where you can just do the outrageous amount of configuration. I mean, if you come to the game and you said, I didn't like how that was, you can change it. You know, everything can be changed. And I think that's what's going to make it a good MMO, because people can come along, if they dislike something, put it how you want it. Change it, move it, you know. And I think what they've done right in this engine is they've given the people the ability to do that. And also, they've given them the ability to multitask. So, thumbs up, guys. I think they've done a good job. Now, down here, we can take a look at some of these as well. Obviously, you've got my inventory system here. Different levels of inventory, but we won't go into that. It tells you all the shards that I've found so far, and crystals. Obviously, I've found absolutely none so far. Now, all these sort of things, I mean, if you played the previous Final Fantasy, these are all familiar items, guys. Animal hides, some of these items are used for crafting. Beast blood's used to craft something like staffs and stuff like that. You know, you can recognise most of these items, but all of these items can be sold. I mean, animal skin. No doubt, if someone wants to craft something like an outfit, probably what they're going to do is going to go and farm particular enemies to basically gain the hides. But if you sell them, for instance, from your retainer, and you've got a good pile of them, why not? You're going to make more money than selling to a player than you are with the NCP. I mean, I haven't gone as far as actually... That's what my main priority is now, is to get an NCP and start selling some... Or get a retainer, sorry, and start selling some stuff, because that's what I enjoy. You know, farming stuff, selling stuff, meeting people, swapping things. finding the gear I want. Now, the only difference that I'm going to say that is I don't know if I still don't know if I like it or not, and that is the fact that I can't equip high-ranking gear. I mean, I sort of like that because all my money, I mean, I'm in a situation now where I'm quite a low rank. I'm a rank 11, but there's not many people. You'd be surprised. There's probably, I've seen a couple of people that are ranked higher than me. There's not many because obviously it's not been that live for that long. But I'm dubious now to go and buy a new weapon from, let's say for instance, another player or the shop that is my rank. Why should I waste my money? Because I know I'm going to maximum rank. I'll probably be better off just saving my money, using a naff weapon for now, and then when I get to that point I'm going to have more cash because I haven't wasted my money in the early stage. That's the only downside of setting it up on the way that you can't carry a weapon that is a rank higher than you. That's what I see anyway. I mean, this is the sort of, you know, this is how I'm going to play the game, you know. I'm not going to go out and buy anything now. The reason I've got this staff now, which is my rank, and this clothing, is because I've got it doing an objective. I'm clearly not going to be going out and buying anything until I'm maximum rank, because I'm going to look for the maximum rank gear. And I'm assuming that they're still implementing the same process as before by giving your gear a quality status. Now, we can start looking at the abilities that I've actually got. Now, I'm not going to be going through all the classes because there's obviously so many, and I'd rather focus on one and be good at one than rather be, you know, okay at, you know, all of them. Now, obviously my ability bar here, I've got two ways of actually selecting these. I can actually select these by obviously clicking them on the mouse, or I can just strike the key. Now, one of the things they have actually changed from the previous version, you might have actually noticed. Now, when an ability is active, it's up here. Before, they had it down just below the health bar, which is fine. Now, Protect, on the previous, the Protect did not last as long as this. When you cast Protect, "30 minutes. I mean, if you played the previous one, guys, that is insane. I mean, I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes on the previous. Which, I don't know, do I like that? I don't know. I mean, I think 29 minutes is a bit too long. I don't know. I mean, what I would do normally, I'd do a global. I've got a global heal. This will heal everyone in the area. It's quite a low power one at this stage, and also I know there's another Protect where you can actually cast it and it casts on everyone. All the abilities are pretty much exactly the same to the previous Final Fantasy. Obviously, the animations and the way the functionality and how they actually work, I'm sure, in the yields are actually different, but most of it's pretty much the same, and even, to be honest, my character looks pretty much the same. But what they've done is I think what the main thing they've done is rework the engine to give you the flexibility to change anything you want. Now, we can go through some of these abilities I've got at this early stage on this poor little ladybird here. Now, the first one is I've got is obviously the run, which I've moved over from this side. This just gives you the ability to run faster, so if you're moving between locations. Now, the second one I've got is pretty much the stone spell. Pretty going rate, really. You've seen it a second ago. It's probably the powerfulest move I've got so far, which does that. Right, the second move I've got is Arrow. And at this stage, because it's quite a low value sort of ability, it's not really going to do a massive amount of damage. The fourth one I've got equipped, and obviously this is going to vary between different people and where you actually equip your cards, but I mean I've equipped mine here. Which is obviously my heal, and that will rejuvenate a small amount of MP as well, which is a little bit strange. Normally you would have in the previous, you would have 2 spells, one for MP and one for health, but this seems to do a bit of both. Auto attack, well, that's obviously going rate. Critical stance, basically changes the stance, as you can see. That would actually make obviously help you out when you're attacking. Then I've got obviously my global heal, which at this stage, because I'm quite low rank, it's not really doing a major amount. It's only small scale stuff at this stage. Now, basically when you level up in the game, it takes through your actual abilities. We've got character here, hang on a second, that's my journal. Personal log, there we go, actions and traits. So basically, let's start going for the menu. Anyway, we'll try and do this as quick as we can. Basic menu. Here we go, we've got my character's traits. At this point, this is where when you level up, you can add points to your character, and also you can control the gear. You've got your actual physical profile, where you're actually based and obviously what server you're on. Classes, what classes you've got, and this tells you all of the classes you've got and how you're ranking. Currency, obviously the money you've got as well. Now, here we've got your journal. These are missions that you've accepted. When they're actually ticked, it gives you a highlighted piece on the map. So you have to have the little yellow thing on to get the icon. You can only highlight, I think, about 5 at a time. But that's fine, it's not a problem. Next one you've got inventory, pretty going rate really. Weapons, and you can click through all of these. You know, you get the idea, guys. I don't need to teach you how to suck eggs on this one. It's quite self-explanatory. Personal log, not really looked at that yet. Social list. Now you have got clans and stuff like that, but obviously I've not set anything up yet, but I will do further down the line. Obviously the map. Now with the map, obviously you can move the map around like I said before, so you can put it wherever you want it, and also you can actually, oops, I missed it there. You can actually stretch the map out. So you've got full flexibility over, you know, basically what you can actually do and what you can see. You can move around inside the map, so you can pretty much change and do everything you want. Then moving on from there, we've got teleport. You can teleport to, well, actually do this, but you can actually teleport to different locations. Obviously it will cost you money. I would always run, because I don't want to spend any money, thanks. But sometimes I do if you're with a group of people, you want to get there quick. No idea what this is yet, guys. Stance. You don't need to go into that really, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just take your weapon out. Action and traits, which we looked at. Inventory system. Pretty straightforward. Return to home, don't want to do that. You can set your home. Emotions. Going rate again, guys. You know, you can also move emotions out down here as well. So if you want to move an emotions down to 9. So flexibility with this game is pretty remove that. You could do anything you thought about doing. Like I just tried that there. Oh, can I move that down there? You can do it. So you're going to have the flexibility to pretty much do anything in the game. You know, anything you want to change on the loadout and the layout. Obviously you've got system settings, a keyboard and binding as well. We'll have a look at macros in a second quickly. Now I'm flying through it, but what I'm going to do is, this is just sort of, just to give you a quick idea. This is you know, a brief overview, you know, what I think, where the game's gone, you know, where it's been, where is it now, what do I think the noticeable differences are. You know, just to give you sort of a bit of heads up before you sort of, you know, commit to the game and come in, you know, to give you an idea of, you know, you might be looking at something on the screen now, so I don't like that. Now, you know, what I'm trying to explain is pretty much most of it. Actually, everything is changeable, so you don't need to worry about that. Now, one of the other things which which they didn't really do on the last one is macros. I think this is probably one of the best things, guys. Like you can say, I'll give you an example why I would use a macro. Look, okay, kill, say, ant, and you're going to think, okay, kill ant, right? Now, what I can do is I can create a macro now. Let's do. I'm not going to do it, but right. So look, let's just say, for instance, this enemy here. I'm going to hit him once. Right. He's going to hit me. Let's just say he was tougher. Right. I then heal. Yeah. I then attack. And that's it. He's dead. Right. That was a little bit quick. Right, but. Right, them 3 buttons there, I could then save that as a macro, right, and put it in maybe slot on here. So every time I press that button, it will repeat that same scenario. Now, why that is good? Now, if you're crafting, you can create a macro that will build something and follow that process of buttons. If you're grinding and killing enemies, if it's a big enemy and he's like, for me at the moment, maybe rank 12, I could create a macro that I know is going to kill him, right, and then just click on the button, boom, he's dead. Right, and I can consistently do that over multiple targets. Now that is the reason why macros will, you know, an important factor in the game, and they weren't in the previous game, because you can create their macros to take out targets to save you sitting there bloody spamming the buttons all every 5 minutes. If you're farming, like I said, if you're a crafter, you could have 5 macros there maybe, right? Because one you want, you know, leather, one you want this, one more, and you could go up to that target, click on that button. And while you're pressing that button, you can press that button and multiple tasks. You can talk to your friends, you can look at the map, you know, and it won't affect what's actually happening in the game. So anyway, that's sort of, I mean, it's a brief overview, guys, and I just wanted to sort of just give you an insight, you know, like I said, more about the functionality of the game and the core and what they've actually added to the previous version, and you know, how these new changes are going to benefit you. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, look forward to making some more videos. This is the first one of many to come. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye now.